We have not yet finished introducing ITIL 3. Should we update to ITIL 4 now? Hi, my name is Andreas Hense and I make videos on IT service management with ITIL. I cannot answer this question for you. Instead, I'll tell you why I immediately switched to ITIL 4. So who am I with respect to ITIL? In the last video, I told you that I come from IT management. Currently, I am managing 2 IT services in a tiny organization where the change from ITIL 3 to ITIL 4 doesn't have so much of an impact. Over the last years, my main focus was on teaching ITIL to students and occasionally doing consulting in this area. Changing the theory, a few slides, exercises and exams is definitely easier than changing a running IT organization. But first things first. What are the main criteria when comparing 2 management frameworks? The first one is, does it explain the real world as we see it? The second one is, does it effectively help me in my management tasks? And the third one is sometimes called Occam's razor. When I have 2 frameworks performing equally well on the first 2 criteria, it's the simplest one that wins. So let's look at ITIL 3 first. The structure of ITIL 3 is depicted very nicely on the slide behind me. What you can see there is the life cycle of an IT service. It's divided into 5 phases, and each phase contains a number of processes. So we can imagine that the idea for an IT service is born in service strategy. Then the service goes into the design phase. And after that, it is transitioned into service operation. And then the continual improvement initiates a circle of activities of these 3 phases. Furthermore, in each phase, a selection of processes can be used. So does this explain the real world as we see it? No. Sometimes it's plain wrong. Let's look at 2 examples here. Supplier management is located in the service design phase. But we have suppliers in all phases. We may have consultants for our IT strategy or an outsourced service desk. So why is this in service design? Another example is what happens when software is updated after an incident. We can argue that we use incident and problem management in the service operation phase. But then we directly go to the change management in the service transition phase without using anything from the service design phase. We can compare ITIL 3 to Bohr's model. It is helpful and simple to convey a first idea, but please don't ask any advanced questions. Now comes ITIL 4 with its service value chain at the center. Every time we start from a demand or an opportunity, we go through this value chain to create value for our customers. And so, if we zoom into the value chain, we see that it's made up of 6 activities: plan, improve, engage, design and transition, obtain build, and deliver and support. And the concrete way of going from demand to value is called a value stream. A value stream is some kind of fuzzy path through the value chain. We'll consider this topic in a later video. Looking back at our ITIL 3 overview, what has happened to the 5 phases of the life cycle and the 26 processes boxed in these phases? Well, the 6 activities of ITIL 4 are similar to the 5 phases. Some of them even have very similar names. Where are the 26 processes of ITIL 3? Their equivalent in ITIL 4 are 34 practices. Now, can we put these 34 practices into the 6 activities of the value chain? The answer is no. There is only a certain probability that a practice is in one of these boxes. ITIL 4 is the quantum mechanics of management frameworks. Consequently, there are heat maps on practices in the reference publications. We'll cover this topic in a later video. Back to our initial question. Why did I switch to ITIL 4? It's definitely not because it's simpler than ITIL 3. With ITIL 4, we can explain precisely what is happening in the real world. Does it help us in our management tasks? My personal answer is yes. If you want to know why, subscribe to this channel to get informed about new videos.